Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me today at Tunisia's Locs, Beauty Tips and Potpourri. Hello, beautiful, beautiful butterflies and perfect people. Welcome to the channel. Today, I am going to be sharing with you 21 of the best kept Sisterlocks secrets relative to my particular journey. You guys know I like to bring you insightful, provocative sometimes topics on the channel, and today I was thinking about what we could talk about that would be interesting, that I could get inspired to talk about. And I said, why not talk about some of the things that you didn't know before you got Sisterlocks that you learned along the journey. And by the way, guys, I hope y'all like my jungle, my little jungle Amazon sounds in the back, those beautiful birds. Join me in the Amazon jungle. So anyway, I wanted to talk with y'all today, or share some of these best kept secrets with you. I'm going to start out with the first one. The first one being, no matter how much your Sisterlocks cost, it's going to be worth it. Look at all this abundance. I'll say it's worth it, okay? No matter how much they cost, over time, they're going to pay for themselves. I know the sticker price today is really out of this world for some of you, but if you just put the money aside little by little and you don't get stuck on how much they actually cost, over time, you're going to find that it's definitely worth it. Especially if you're into, I got to tell the birds to be quiet, especially if you're into Sisterlocks as a lifestyle and it's not just something you're doing to get your feet wet. Second secret is it does take work to maintain these Sisterlocks. And I'm going to tell you, probably the biggest part of that work, as far as I'm concerned, especially when I look at from whence I've come, isn't the actual physical work of the washing. It's the maintenance and the investigating your hair and scalp to make sure that you are insulating yourself from your locks falling out or thinning or any type of hair loss. That takes work, it takes scrutiny, and it takes looking over your locks on a regular basis and being prepared to initiate any types of intervention that you might need if you should begin to deal with any type of hair loss. So yeah, it takes some effort to maintain your Sisterlocks and to keep an eye out for the kind of progress that you want to see happen with your Sisterlocks. Number 3, Sisterlocks will pull your hair out if you are not careful with the maintenance, and if you're not careful with the types of retightening sessions that you have, and if you are not selective about the type of loctician that you choose for your journey. Yes, the way the Sisterlocks have to be maintained will actually pull your hair out. Not the actual proprietary name in and of itself, but the methods that are used to maintain the locks will eventually cause your hair to suffer if you are not on top of it. Go back to number 2 and you'll understand in more length of what I'm talking about. The fourth thing is that you are likely to need some type of oil on your Sisterlocks. Now, that's one of the best kept secrets as far as I'm concerned, because when I got Sisterlocks, before I had them installed, I was told no oil, no oil, no oil, and all the research I did, no oil, no oil, no oil. That was hard for me to understand, because heck, I needed oil on my hair before I got Sisterlocks. So how the hell am I not going to need oil on my hair just because I get Sisterlocks? And I went natural for probably a couple of years, I think, before I even got the Sisterlocks. I needed oil on my hair then too. So to oil or not to oil is a video that I have on the channel. It's one of the reasons why I created my proprietary I Am Melanin Magic high-end premium hair oil for your mane, is because I needed something to help with the dry scalp, the itching, and just the dryness and the brittleness somewhere midway through my journey. Although my loctician started using products, oil on my hair from day one. She installed from day one with oil, and I'm glad. Now, her response to that is that she was not just a Sisterlocks loctician. She was also a natural hair care stylist and cosmetologist, and she knew what natural hair needed. And I could appreciate that, even though I was shocked in the beginning. And I remember I was one of those by the book people. I was the person that read the book when I got pregnant with Naima. And I did everything that I needed to do. Everything you need to know before your baby is born. I followed the parent-directed feeding. I did everything by the book. So I was one of those people going into the Sisterlocks journey. And I'm glad I dropped with all of that pretense, because it was the best advice she ever gave me, although the product that she chose to use on my hair was not ideal, which is part of the reason why I developed this. And this is what constitutes and can account for the growth and the strength of my hair, although this has been modified from my initial blend, mainly because the first blend was much heavier, and I've chosen a different synergistic blend of ingredients. But overall, my touch and the knowledge that I have about essential oils and what is good for our hair and what works and why it works and the different ratios and proportions is still a part of the science behind this, and accounts for why my hair is very healthy, and accounts for why I don't have to wash my hair very much, and why my hair has been able to I guess you can say withstand, I don't know how many dyes over a period of years before I started using rinses. And my hair continues to get thick as we go because of the fact that I chose to use oil. So that's a secret. You are going to need some oil on your hair. 80 to 90% of you will. Number 5, the longer your hair gets in terms of length, the greater your risk of hair loss. That is a Sisterlocks secret, and that is something that you need to be very aware of. Number 6, you can't always blindly trust your loctician to have your greatest interest at heart. That is your job, okay? Because they smile, because they take your payments, does not mean, and I'm speaking not from personal experience, I'm speaking from the experience of all of my Sisterlocks sisters on the channel, all of my kindred spirits, because I've been fortunate enough to have a great loctician, 2 great locticians over the years who I've developed a wonderful rapport with. But I've seen too many of you come having horror stories because we put our trust in people because we're paying them, and then at the end of the day we're very dissatisfied because we didn't listen to our intuition. So I always say your intuition should always override your loctician. Number 7, you're going to get past that awkward stage. If you are new to your Sisterlocks journey and you're under 2 to 3 years, 2 years, 3 years or more, maybe depending upon the type of curl pattern you have, you will get through the awkward stage. Bear it out. Persevere. You will get through the awkward stage, the bunching, the slippage, the teenage stage where the locks rebel. They don't want to come home at night on time. They want to be frizzy. They want to look crazy. They want to bump up all over the ends and just lock up all kind of crazy. You're going to get through it. Don't worry. Number 8, you don't need to wash as frequently as you may think. I don't care what anybody says. I have a healthy scalp, and you're talking about someone who lived with dandruff for years before I got my locks, years before even I moved down here to Georgia, which made it worse. You don't have to live with dandruff, and you don't have to wash to get rid of it, but you do need to have a healthy hair care regimen, and you do need to use something that is antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-funk too. But you don't need to wash as frequently as you may think. If I were to tell you how often I wash my hair, you guys would probably think I was yucky. But my hair is very clean, and I can tell you on any given day, my hair might smell better than some of you out there who wash your hair every 2 to 3 weeks. And I wash my hair maybe every 9, 10, sometimes 11 weeks right before my retightening. And my scalp is clean. I have no buildup. My hair is healthy. It smells good. Trust me when I tell you that. Number 9. Where is it? You may not always use the Sisterlocks tool. It may not be the best thing for your retightening. You may find that there is a better tool for you to use, okay? I might need to make that my thumbnail. That's at 9 minutes and 28 seconds. Number 10, you might need to learn how to do your own reties for a lot of reasons. I always believe in being self-reliant. I don't like to be dependent on other people, but also even due to something like COVID, people had to end up retightening and not knowing how to maintain their hair. You may find yourself in between locticians. You may find yourself in a fix financially. There are any number of reasons why you may need to learn how to retighten your own hair. And guys, you can do it. It's not the end of the world, and you don't have to have a Sisterlocks tool, all right? You can use any number of tools. Check out some of my other videos. I showcase at least 4 or 5 other tools that you can actually use. Number 11, tightening your locks too close to your head and obsessing about that grid. Some of you guys like that grid to be tight. It will cause your hair to fall out. You need to shift in your thinking about the grid, its purpose, and why you need to have it looking a certain way. Quite frankly, I don't like the plucked chicken look. When I first get my hair retightened, I don't like it. I like the way it looks now. All filled in and kind of fuzzy around here. This is the way I like my hair to look on a regular basis. I don't like to see the grid. As a matter of fact, I'm using one of my serums in this area. And guys, I am noticing short pieces coming in because whenever I retighten this area, it's always looked thin, even since the beginning. So I said, let me use the Magical Hair Growth Serum right here on just this side of my hair. And I'm going to see how much new hair growth I can initiate right here in this area. And when it works, I'm going to show you guys, okay? So tightening too close to the head, it's not something you need to do. That's the Sisterlocks secret because most locticians tighten very close to the head and they continue all the way up until that last rotation. It is unnecessary. Number 12, too tighten, too frequently a retie, not just too tight a retie, but too frequently retying or too often getting your reties is going to cause trauma to your hair. Beware of those locticians that suggest you need to get a retightening every 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 weeks. You need to run, Forrest, run, especially if it doesn't feel right to you intuitively. Now, there is a small number of you who may need a retightening at that frequency, but you better make sure that it feels like she's doing a 2-month-old's hair and that somebody's not ripping through your hair, rushing, trying to get it done in 2.5 to 3 hours, tightening all the way to the scalp, putting extra stress on your tresses. Is not good for you. Trust me, you heard it here first. Number 13, a heavy-handed loctician can be blamed for long-term hair loss. This is a secret. I'm not bashing locticians. I love them. I got 2 great ones. But I will tell you that many of those of you who've come to me have had the same locticians for numbers of years. And they're the same ones that recommend you see a dermatologist or tell you that you have some type of genetic hair loss when you show up with locks that have fallen out and pattern baldness up here or around your edges. And they've been doing your hair for a long time. But likewise, when you stop getting the locks or you start using this or something else, all of a sudden your hair starts to grow back. That's not traditional alopecia. That's alopecia that is associated with traction, traumatized follicles, and so many other things. So be wary of leaving your retightening appointments with a sore scalp. Be wary of someone that's rushing through your hair. Be wary of someone who may be using a tool that may not necessarily be the best for you. Some of you have said this gets caught on your hair. Never had it catch on my hair. I can't really use this tool. One day maybe I'll try, but when I do my own retightenings, I find that it's just too cumbersome. But I feel like this glides through very well, and this is an ideal tool. But some of you feel as though your hair gets caught on this. You are the best judge of what is best for your hair. Never give up your autonomy. Be your own advocate. Number 14, you can color your locks with hair dye. You can bleach them, but you will find that a rinse is best. After an initial permanent hair color that lightens your strands, you can capture the hair color you want with a lot less stress on your tresses through using a rinse. But yes, you can color your hair, but yes, more than likely it will weaken your hair to some degree, especially if you're not giving your hair the other nutritive sustenance that it needs, okay? Number 15, you can avoid lint by washing thoroughly and being careful of not using heavy products on your hair that attract lint. One of the main reasons why I changed my blend, not only was my blend a little heavier, that was probably less the problem than the fact that I was not washing thoroughly. Me not washing thoroughly was the biggest problem, not the infrequent washing, but the thorough washing so that between each wash, my hair was as light as a feather. And I was sure that I got all the oils out. So that's one of the main things in addition to shaking your hair out. And if you do this when you're in the car, you're going to see the lint all over the place. Also wearing a cap at night, making sure to tie your hair up when you're cleaning and different things like that. I can't even believe I'm seeing hardly anything come out of my hair. This is amazing. This is amazing, you guys. It's just amazing because y'all don't know. I had a fixation. If you go back to my early channel videos, you're going to see where, I don't know, I got about 9-10 videos probably on my obsession with lint. So that has not been a great obsession lately, and I'm just so thankful. Thank you, God. Thank you. The next one is you can, I wrote these down, guys, and I can hardly read my own handwriting, but you can grow your edges out with Sisterlocks in terms of thickening them. Okay, this could be a whole nother lock. I'm working on this, my hairline, okay? But you can also lose your edges with Sisterlocks. Make sure you know the difference and make sure you understand what you need to do to increase the likelihood that you can thicken your hair locks. Some of you who have used this blend have sent me pictures, and I'm very grateful to all of you on the channel who are using this. And not only is it supporting my efforts, but you're using this and it's providing to be a welcome asset to your hair care toolkit. And sending me pictures of actually having more locks, needing to have your loctician to install locks in places where there weren't any because you were using this. Now, granted, some of you are using this along with the Magical Hair Growth Serum and having great results. The last video I did towards the end, I put a sister in there named Karen. Shout out to you, Sister Karen. And Karen was using this and the Magical Hair Growth Serum, and you can see in 3 months, her hair went from not having hair for, I think she said since 2018, to this big pocket full of hair. And it's really amazing. I'm not making this up, y'all. And I thank God that I don't have to make this up. Not that I would make this up, but I'm grateful that I have people who have been eager to share with me some of the experiences that they have had, because as long as you keep having positive experiences, I will continue to create and channel healing blends, okay, in order to help us to strengthen not only our hair, but other things that we have that we need to be working on in terms of our healing journey, regardless of what that may be. Right now, I'm working on something for gray. I got some gray coming on up here, which now I'm experimenting on myself. Okay, next, number 17. You can't get much help from the Sisterlocks website. Sorry. Ding, 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 ding. Woo, woo. You're just not going to get a lot of help from the Sisterlocks website. Some of the information has been expired unless they've changed it in the last year or two. Some of you have been outcasted by the website. Some of the people that are on there are no longer in business. Some of you who have had grievances have had difficulties even getting acknowledgement and pursuing grievances and having your concerns followed up on. In addition to the information that's available, I don't know why everything is so secretive, but it's not the best place for information about Sisterlocks. Unfortunately, you have to rely on your own research and the experiences of your sisters out here on YouTube and on other platforms. And that's pretty unfortunate because, you know, people can be all over the place. It's always best with a proprietary and trademarked process, or anything that a business person is giving or producing for the market, that you're able to get firsthand information about that product in depth, especially because this is a real financial investment from the website or from spokespeople who represent the brand. That may be difficult. Good luck on that one. Number 18, there's no way to get around the teenage stage. When you get to after, maybe for some of you, that 6-month mark, for some of you it starts early. For folks like me, it started after about a year. Your hair will look jacked up. It will bunch. Those beautiful patterned, perfectly laying and curly or crinklet Shirley Temple-like bouncy locks will begin to rebel and transform into something unlike what you thought you might have been getting into. This is the stage of the journey where you have to learn to love yourself. This is the stage of the journey that tests you, whether your hair is short or long or whatever. This is the stage of the journey that you wish you could wake up from and it would just go away, but it doesn't. But persevere. You will get through this stage, and one day you will look at yourself having crossed over into the maturing lock crowd, and you will feel as though you are worthy of a medal of honor. You will be so glad you don't look like the person that you look like when those things were bunching up and when you were trying to roll out those uneven locks, and when you were trying to look at the ends and wonder why you had these fat balls on the ends and what the heck was going on, and why you had thick ones up here and small ones over here, and just everything was looking crazy. But you will learn to love yourself. That is the beauty of this journey. Number 19, the signature grid. The signature Sisterlocks grid is the signature grid is what makes the Sisterlocks proprietary system proprietary. Although we often think it's the tool or the actual procedure or the interlocking method, although it can have something to do with that, my understanding is it is the grid that really denotes whether or not you have Sisterlocks at first glance. All right, now obviously you want the person to be using the tool, and when they start the locks they need to start at the bottom, and you need to have the specific patterns and so forth. But the grid in and of itself, I would say, probably is at the top of the food chain. So when you're getting your Sisterlocks done, if you choose to get them installed by somebody who's not a Sisterlocks loctician, and then that would mean they're not, they're not going to be able to give you the grid, or more than likely they're not trained in the grid, in which case you probably can't really say you have Sisterlocks per se. But you want to make sure, if you're paying someone for Sisterlocks and you are being told that they are an authorized Sisterlocks loctician consultant or trainee, that your grid is tight or on fleek, like some people say, and that you do have the proprietary Sisterlocks grid, and somebody's just not sitting there free parting or doing whatever else they want to do to your locks. All right. Number 20. If you begin to lose your hair, do not expect your lovely loctician to take responsibility for it. That is not only a Sisterlocks best kept secret, but that's probably the best kept secret of anybody who's doing your hair on a regular basis. People just don't want to admit when they've done something wrong, maybe because they're afraid of the liability associated with that. Although I think research will show that most people are very hesitant to even pursue any type of damages when something like that happens, which is okay because we do rebound from it. Hair can grow back. But don't expect your loctician to say, it's the way that I put you on that retightening schedule, or it's the fact that I retightened your locks too tight, or I pulled too much on the tender areas of your hair, or I retightened them or did the rotations too tight to the scalp, or whatever it is they may be saying. I rushed, and instead of doing your hair in maybe 2.5 hours, I should have done it in 5 hours, where I could have taken my time and charged you more money. Don't expect that to be the case. Expect to be told something like, you need to see your dermatologist. The Sisterlocks website has a program called the trichologist or something program. I forget the name of it. Going to do a video on it. Haven't forgotten. And there's a series of things that we recommend that you do. You may need to take medication. You may need to see your doctor. You may need to be checked for specific DNA markers that would indicate that perhaps this is a inherited issue that you are dealing with. No one is going to say that the repeated abuse of your retightenings is what is responsible for your hair loss. So if you're looking for someone to do that, it's not going to happen, which is why I always say you must be your own advocate. You must make the choices that sit well with your soul and your spirit. If you are leaving the retightenings and you feel you're getting them too often, or your scalp is hurting, or you're getting headaches and you need to take aspirins or Motrin after you leave a retightening, guys, you got to have a talk with your loctician. We love these sisters. They help us stay beautiful. So we got to be willing to raise the level of consciousness, raise the level of awareness when it comes to our locks, okay? And then last but least, this is not a secret, but for some it might be, Sisterlocks is still the best way to grow your hair abundantly as far as I am concerned. The verdict remains out on how long you can grow them healthily and what types of interventions are involved the longer you have these locks. I've seen many people with locks for a long time and having either had to suffer hair loss in certain areas, which I'm almost sure has more to do with the retightenings than anything else. But I think that there are certain precautions that we can take. There's certain things that we can do to improve the nutrition. There's certain things that we can do externally as well as internally. You always hear me say, if you're dealing with hair loss issues or as you're going through the transition in life where hair loss can become more of a common indicator of, you know, perimenopause or menopausal periods, you need to be fortifying yourself with vitamin E tablets. You need to be taking more B12. You need to make sure your B vitamins are where they need to be, folic acid. You need to incorporate some sulfur into your diet. You need to make sure you're getting enough zinc. You need to be taking a multivitamin. We have to address this from the inside out. You need to control stress. You need to make sure you're drinking enough water. You need to make sure you have a healthy diet. You need to make sure that you're not exposing your hair unnecessarily to toxins and so forth by way of overwashing it or exposing your hair to too much heat or chemicals or chlorine if you're swimming. There's so many different reasons why. But I hope that the 21 reasons that I have given you, or the 21 best kept Sisterlocks secrets, have enriched you in some way. If so, please tell me you made it to the end in the comment section, or let me know what one thing you felt you agreed with the most, or what one thing do you feel was most memorable in terms of what you learned or what you feel you may have to look forward to on this wonderful hair care journey, which is also a spiritual one too. You're with Tanisha Ali of Butterfly Transformations. If you haven't purchased my book, Manifesting Your Masterpiece, feel free to do so. You can also find out more about the I Am Melanin Magic Hair Oil on the website, which is in the description, but the website is IamMelaninMagic.com. And for those of you who order it through my phone, I'm still currently taking orders through 678-438-6442. That is what will allow you to avoid the sales tax and the shipping right now during this time. Sending out much love to you guys. We have reached 17,000 subscribers. What a beautiful, almost 3-year journey I've had on this channel. Meeting you all, having y'all love on me, trying to do the best that I can to show my love back. Being blessed with this channel in a multitude of ways. Sharing in some of your warm stories that you tell me, some of your trying stories, some of your losses, and just so many other things and ways that you guys have enriched my life. I can't thank you enough. I'm forever humbled. I love you all. I thank you again so much. And for those of you that want to stick around, I'm going to pull a tarot card for you. Let me see. Let me pull a card for you, an oracle message. Oh, we had one to pop out. What do y'all? Oh, y'all, we have the Emperor. So this could relate to a father figure, a husband. It represents the masculine principle, so it could be telling you to take charge of your life in some particular way. It could be telling you that you need to bring more structure, that you need to stand up for what you believe in. I got the Two of Cups at the bottom, so for some of you guys, this could have to do with a relationship, masculine energy. Now, when this card manifests in a healthy way, you're talking about a very family-oriented man who knows how to take leadership and extending his influence and taking care of those who depend on him. He's going to be honest. He's going to be just. He's going to be fair. He may be a little firm. He may be a little rigid. And he may be very much of a traditionalist. When this manifests In a shadow aspect, you could be talking about someone who tends to be a little bit controlling, very rigid. They need to dominate. They need to always be right. Sometimes their energy can be a bit smothering. Now, this card is being clarified by the Ten of Wands reversed. This could be a situation for some of you guys where you're feeling a little bit of a burden. If you're in your masculine energy as a feminine and you are carrying too many responsibilities and you've taken on the masculine role as well as the feminine role, you may be needing to put your load down and let go of some of the responsibilities that you've been carrying, which means to revamp some things and to set some different kinds of priorities in your life. I think the important thing is to remember that you can actually put the load down, because this card is reversed. So you may be carrying too much and may not be feeling empowered enough to release some of your burdens and responsibilities. If this relates to a relationship, then you may be feeling somewhat locked into a relationship that is not giving you the space to grow or the space to be yourself, or is feeling a little bit too restrictive. So I am now just going to pull an oracle card for those of you who want to stick around. Much love to you, much love to you, much love to you. And let's just see what your oracle message is. This is the Art of Manifestation. It's a beautiful oracle card deck. These are just like affirmations, but they represent energies that we need to be aware of. This is a card about disliking other people. Okay, it's a very interesting message, this particular card. The underlying energy is walking away. Walk away from this situation. When we face a challenging or unhealthy situation, it can be hard to let go of and move on. Now, if that's something to do with you carrying too many burdens, it's okay to walk away, guys. You probably have heard me say this a lot. This year, 2021, is a year of challenge. Last year was a year to take a good look and to get 2020 vision on what it was in our lives we needed to deal with. This year is a year of challenge, change, transformation. This is a year of breaking cycles. So if there is something that you need to walk away from, I know it can be hard to let go and move on. This is a sticky energy. It's one of the most difficult things that you'll ever do. But you always hear me say too on my spiritual channel, life is about opening new doors and closing doors. It's about closing doors and opening new doors, everybody. There is no destination. There's only the journey. And I mean that. There is no destination. There's just the journeying through a myriad of different experiences, which is why, even though it's the most challenging thing to do, we have to try to let go of the attachments that we have that stifle us and keep us from moving through these different doors. Sometimes we stay in the hope that someone else will change, or perhaps we are so fearful of the unknown that we remain in the safety of a known and yet toxic situation. This card invalidates, or this card validates your entitlement to leave. So if you're in a burdensome situation, if you're in a relationship, if you have a masculine energy in your life and it just feels too difficult, or you've taken on a job, because that Emperor card can also represent a job situation, a boss, a situation that's toxic where you just have too much responsibility on your shoulders and it's weighing you down. This is your sign that you have options. And then we have dislike of others. Let's look at this energy here, because this is the first oracle. The other oracle I just read to you was more of an underlying energy. Sometimes we form strongly negative feelings towards others. In truth, it is not them that we dislike, but their words, their actions, and behaviors. This card asks you to try to detach from the experience of their behavior and see them as a soul on their own unique pathway, attempting to manage their own challenging life lessons. This is to remind you, beautiful spirits, that it's not about you. It never is about us. If we didn't take things personal, we wouldn't get mad at other people. We wouldn't be frustrated and stressed out. It's about the individual on his or her journey. So whoever that person is, even though they may raise your ire and they may get on your nerves, it's not about them. It's about what they've done. It's about their actions and their behaviors. Try to see them. I always say when it comes down to trying to accept people for who they are, and to detach emotionally from a situation, the easiest way for me to do that is to accept someone where they are in their level of awareness. If we accept them for where they are, we stop trying to change them. That's the difficult part, especially if it happens to be a lover or a husband. Accepting someone where they are means you stop trying to change them out. It doesn't mean you have to stay. You still reserve the right to make responsible and conscious choices to move you forward in your own personal evolution. But what it does is it says, You are where you are and I am where I am. And although we may not be in the same place, it's not my place to judge. You are going to get the experiences and the tutelage that is unique to what it is you need on your individual soul journey, and so am I. And right now I'm getting this, and right now you're getting that, and I can accept that. And I can accept that sometimes we know not what we do, and what we do depends on where we are in our consciousness. And when we know better, we do better, right? But until we know better, we can't do better. So I hope y'all have a beautiful, beautiful day, evening, morning, afternoon, whenever it is that you are watching this video. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and keep coming back. More will be revealed. Much love to you. Please go to my Butterfly Transformations channel on YouTube and check out some of the video footage over there. I deal with the head and the heart on that channel. Love you.